How much fun is paddling in the snow?
That is a half section. Oh, that's horrible.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Adventure Show. This month I'm back in the saddle for what is the longest and toughest 24-hour mountain bike marathon in the UK, if not Europe. The Strathpuffer 24 and me have a long history. It doesn't always show me off my best, does it, Duncan?
It's not been too bad, but this year the conditions are the toughest I've ever seen. This will truly be an absolutely epic event, pushing man and boy to the limit. It's going to be very, very entertaining. I'm going to be nice and warm, have a cup of tea, and good luck, son.
Thank you very much indeed.
It'll be fine, don't worry about it, it'll be fine, it'll be fine.
I'm starting to whimper already.
You look really scared.
It's cold and wet and horrible and muddy and great fun, I suppose.
Pedal hard, do it the hard way.
Very, very hard, yeah. Very grueling, that's it.
I'm an idiot. Why else would you be here?
And if gnarly bikers think that, imagine what I was feeling. I've never done that well at the Puffer, but I had no idea that for me, this race would be so tough, or that I would have such a bad fall.
But over front sort of, yeah.
Feels like taking your helmet off yet?
I have, it feels like it's tight.
Your head feels tight.
That's all to come, and believe me, it's not something I'm keen to relive. Honestly, I had been training. I'd been training really hard, but the Strathpuffer is an epic, and that's official.
We got an award in an American bike magazine because one of the 10 most extreme races in the world. In fact, it was the only one in the Europe at all. So we were quite pleased. Well, I don't know whether we're pleased about that.
So people come from America?
So we have people who had flight books since last summer.
It's a bit snowy and there's not that much riding, but the second lap should be better.
They called me on Monday. Said, hey, you want to come do this race? I said, sure.
Probably the longest night riding bike race in the world, 17 hours of
I hadn't
dark.
realised just how far north Scotland is.
Also in this month's Adventure Show, Grant MacNicol will be cooking up some culinary magic to keep us bikers going through this long winter night.
If you are going out camping and you want to cook things with tin products, make sure you take a tin opener. Very important.
In the best winter conditions for decades, we'll be ski mountaineering in the Cairngorms, and we'll be joining Cameron McNeish on his monthly pilgrimage to the hills.
Oh, it's hard work in the snow.
First, to the Strathpuffer, and the day before the race, I collected the bike, which should have been my friend for the next 24 hours.
So, this is my steed for the event, going backwards, which it probably will do when we're climbing as well. Green, which will match my face about 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a nice bike though, feeling absolutely great. It's Friday afternoon at 5 to 3, and I'm ready to go.
Little did I know what lay ahead this time. 2 years ago, I had entered as a soloist. Never, ever again. So this year, I've roped in mountain guide and mountain bike enthusiast Mark Diggins.
You've done it before, I've never done it. I've no idea how I'm going to cope with it, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing it, is I'm just so curious about how I'll be.
So do we have a team strategy, or should we have worked it out before now?
Maybe we can help one another be more aggressive.
Yeah.
Get out there, go and do it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. This is Friday, yeah. Saturday night, Sunday morning, maybe not quite so yeah.
After a nervous night's sleep, or lack of it, it's race day, and I wasn't exactly organised.
Now this could be a problem, because I have to change my pedals into clipless pedals. You have to take it off with a pedal spanner, which I don't have with me. Anyone got a pedal spanner I can borrow? Anyone got a pedal spanner I could borrow? Pedal spanner, anyone? This race is basically, it's not just a physical challenge. There's a massive mental challenge. You have to go in to do the event with the right frame of mind.
And I have been worrying about it, and I do tend to worry about these things, which should be fun, but I do worry about them. I don't know why I worry about them, but I do.
Well, he's quite normal in a way. He's confronted with a lot of situations that he's had no experience of, and he really does give it his all, and he wants to do a good job. He wants to do well, and I think he puts a lot of stress on himself.
But at the same time, I'm actually quite a positive person, so in fact I am a pretty positive person, so I kind of kid myself on. It's good fun as well.
I've seen Dougie doing it a few times, and I think probably the same advice is just keep going and keep warm. The warmest place here is on the bike.
Can I lie down on the psychologist's chair?
Oh, I said it'll be no bother to him. It's like worrying about dying, she'll be dead before you know it, so we give it socks anyway.
And as the final minutes ticked away, I was trying to keep the adrenaline under control. This 24-hour mountain bike marathon starts with a sprint on foot.
The hardest thing now will be for Dougie not to run out of the Le Mans start, just to kind of pace it, not get caught up in the mad rush in the first lap. Because if you blow it in the first lap or two, then you're going to waste an awful lot of energy for the night time when you really need to be able to dig in.
Which is easier said than done, Duncan. I couldn't wait to be off and into the saddle, but this is Scotland, and we do things in style here, with a piper to lead us to the start line, ready for that sprint to the bikes.
Good luck.
What's the worst that could happen?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Jocelyn's a position already. Been left for dead already. Started in the front row, already towards the back.
So here they are, the boys with the big thighs in the front. Not sure if it's a good idea to sprint off super hard, but there's a few people here in the front that will no doubt see in the winner's podium at the end of the event. So I'm looking for a big bobbing red jacket and a pinched, scared look in the face. Oh, there he is. Do you want me to give you a shove to start? Go on. Right, just watch out in the first bit. Well, he's in the middle third of the field. Oh no, actually he was halfway back. Depends if it's a half full or half empty kind of a day. But he's off, and I'm off for a cup of tea.
Lucky for some. For nearly 500 crazy people, it's the start of 24 hours of elation and exhaustion. This is a race that takes you to extremes.
You've just got to face the fact you've just got to get up that hill, and in these conditions that might be quite interestingly sliding. And then you get finally to the fun bit and through the single track, and that's usually a big relief because you get some downhill and you're having to just concentrate on where you're going.
I'm in the sensible party, taking it easy.
And you know that when you get through all that single track, you've got another wee climb, and then you've got some fantastic downhill most of the way back to the finish again. Yippee! And then you do it all again.
A deep breath and start again.
Yeah.
Today, obviously, the downhill is not going to be people riding fast on it. What sort of condition is it in just now?
I think that's going to change a lot as the event goes on. Slidey, mushy to start with. There will definitely be people who are still riding it. There'll be a lot of people who are probably taking it very cautiously, but as it stays warm and melts, I suspect that will become a lot more rideable.
Hey! This has actually been the toughest bit so far. It's just all the snow. Just keep coming off the bikes, but we'll get there.
It's hard.
And how's the course?
It's enjoyable. We love it. That's why we're here.
Thought it was going to be really hard and dead icy, but you seem to just float through it. Really good.
But not for me. This was turning into a real struggle.
You know what?
It's quite hard to ride in that stuff. Most of it's unrideable for me. I don't know. I'm not rubbish on a bike, but it's making me feel like I am. Making me feel like it's the first time I've been on a bike. I was finding this shockingly tough. I'd fallen off a bike before, but this was in another league, and it got worse. Down the course, our cameraman heard I'd taken another tumble.
Told the report Dougie's crashed up at the 500 metres back and hurt his head. Yeah, just where they sort of come through the gate and the red sort of tape starts. So I'll tell the guys down at the bottom.
Hit his head. It's cold, so he wants to walk down.
We've just heard that 500 metres from the end of the race, Dougie's fallen off and bashed his head. Mark's running up to see how he is, and there's a couple of people with him. So we're just going up to see how he is. I hope he's all right.
Well, I felt dreadful, really confused, not sure what had happened or where I was. No change there then.
Yeah, he's been hit his head and he's been sick, dry sick for a couple of times. I've asked her Thursday to come up.
You could go down and get a first aid immediately.
I just went off. I don't know. I thought I'd been off the bike more than I've been on the bloody thing. Just keep falling off it. But I went over front sort of. Yeah.
In a situation like this, no one takes any chances. It wasn't long before a doctor, who was part of the on-site paramedic team, arrived to check me out.
Were you awake all the time?
I don't know, I think so.
Can you remember everything that happened? No. And did you get up straight away?
No.
Nope. How'd your head feel now?
Sore.
How's your neck feel?
It feels alright.
Okay, if you stay nice and still for me. Any pain down here?
No.
Okay, can you squeeze with my fingers? Can you feel me touching you here?
Yeah.
Feel me touching you here?
Yeah.
Can you look all the way to that side? All the way to the other side? Okay. And can you remember what you had for breakfast?
Scrambled egg.
Scrambled egg, okay. What we'll do is we'll just get you down. We've got an ambulance at the bottom and we'll just check you out down there.
We'll just go that way.
It's reassuring to know the Adventure Show team were taking my accident seriously. They filmed everything on 2 cameras. Thanks, guys.
The recommendation from the medic on the course is that Dougie goes to hospital and has a scan. He's been trying to throw up and there might be some mild concussion or severe concussion, we don't know yet. But just they do a scan just to make sure there's no internal swelling in the brain. But the fact he's been trying to throw up is obviously a warning sign. So he's going with the producer to be checked out, and I think that's the end of his race. And I hope it's not serious at all, but it is very sobering to see that. It looks unpleasant and scary. Positives, well, he can talk and he can see and he's complaining, so the fact that he's complaining is a good thing, but we won't really know for a couple of hours yet.
My race was over, but on a 30 minutes drive to Raigmore Hospital, I started to feel lots better. Meanwhile, back at the Puffer, the show must go on. So this month, Grant MacNicol's going to have to manage without my expert help.
It's January, we're at the Strathpuffer, there's snow all around us, it's absolutely Baltic, perfect conditions for cooking up a storm.
Now, Grant's been known to give me a hard time. Today he's cooking not 1 dish but 2, and he's got to find some other victims to help him.
Right then, let's get some cooking on the go here. We're gonna have to get a few budding helpers, so see if there's anyone available about at all. Anybody gonna give us a wee hand with the cooking feature I'm doing over here just now, folks? Ladies, you look like a couple of budding chefs over there.
Okay, you'll be all right here, yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. We're going to cook a couple of dishes here today. First one will be a Greek-style broth, which is made with a fresh lamb stock. We're going to put some nice bulgur wheat through that. We're going to put some chickpeas into it, and then towards the end we'll put some parsley in. The other dish we're going to do is a chorizo and 5-bean tomato casserole. So we can hopefully, in this big pot, have it gets it cooking. But first of all, we need to get you into the Adventure Show attire. So there's one for you.
Thank you very much.
There's one for you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Excellent. One of you is here, giving a bit of chopping, if you don't mind. And then another one we can start helping me get the casserole on the go. Okay? Made this lamb stock back at the restaurant. Basically what we do is we take some lamb bones overnight, we cook them and add some vegetable stock and also a wee bit of chicken stock. Got a really nice flavour. Okay. Once you get a few more of these vegetables in, we'll get the casserole started off. Okay. So for the recipe, we need red onions, we need peppers, we need celery, leek, aubergine, courgette. So there's quite a lot going on there.
So how many people are you going to feed with
We'll hopefully get about, I don't know, about 20, maybe 25 portions. You're making a fantastic job. You've done this before. If you could just start adding some oil into that for me, that would be perfect. And then the peppers as well. Good bit of oil. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Get that right in there. Really good. I could maybe just get you to start putting this into the pan, just gently. Okay. Just get my hand in there.
Thank you. Do we get extra points for doing this? Like, does it count as a
Professional.
lap?
Well, it might well do. It might well do. So do you enjoy cooking at home, ladies? Is it something you...
I'm quite into the hot pots.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
The slow casseroling sort of things.
Yeah, there's nothing so good as a Sunday roast though.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's nothing better than going home for a
Yeah.
Sunday roast, definitely. What I've got here is I've got the barista chorizo sausage, which is the best we can get our hands on. It's really, really hot, spicy from Spain. It's good, nutritious. You've got all the vegetables in there. And again, you know, as you go through the night, as you're struggling at that really, really late on, it makes all the difference, you know. I'm quite lucky in a way that it's a 24-hour race, because by the looks of this casserole, it might be 2 in the morning, but by the time we get it finished.
But we haven't got food like this. Not even close.
Okay then, ladies, we're just gonna finish the broth, the Greek broth, the Greek style broth. So this is something that I've just learned recently. We just basically, because they're already tinned, what you can do is you can buy dried chickpeas. What we'll do is just put some diced onion in there. Would anyone like to try some Greek broth?
Auntie might.
Everything was done with ladies, I done nothing at all. I just stood here. So that's a very important part. Fresh parsley.
That's just what we need.
First top food I've had all day, man.
Food's good. That food's very, very good.
And I think I better go because my number 3 in our team should be back any minute now.
Well, thank you very much for your help. I appreciate that. And good luck with the race.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.
Good luck.
Thanks.
The challenge was to cook a larger pot than I normally do on the show. And as you can see, it's become a bit more of a challenge than I first had hoped. Another thing we have today, the problem of, because of the temperature outside, the gas keeps freezing in the stove. So that's something that doesn't happen at work, that's for sure. Well, I think, you know, you're doing a very good job for me. I'm enjoying this, it's really good. Normally we have Dougie Vipond gives me a hand on this part of the show.
Okay.
I think we'll maybe sack him and you know, make it a regular feature. Me and you, we'll do it from now on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because you know, he's had a few attempts at it, and you know, being a commie chef's not that difficult, as you've shown today. Hopefully the casserole will be cooked maybe by 9 o'clock tonight. In fact, what we'll maybe have to do, take it back. We'll get a bigger stove and we'll cook it and maybe bring it back. But then it might be cooked. You never know. We'll see what happens.
At least when I help out, the dish always gets finished on time. Over the years, the Adventure Show has had a chance to review boots, jackets, trousers, folding bikes, folding kayaks and tents. But today we're going bigger. And at this time of year, and with this kind of weather, we thought a little luxury would be in order.
I've been a motor caravan enthusiast for almost more years than I care to remember. We've had a whole succession of older ones and newer ones, bigger ones and smaller ones. The latest reincarnation of the McNeish mobile, if you like, is this old home conversion. Come on, I'll give you a bit of a tour. This bench seat here folds out into quite a large double bed, and then 3-hob grill, little wash hand basin, and plenty of cupboard space. Everything that I need to rough it below the hills. You know, I tend to use my old camper van for Monroe bagging sorties and weekends away, but for events like this one, like the Strathpuffer, where you're here overnight, something like this is absolutely spot on. And this is the van that Mark and Dougie have been using, although I think Dougie is now enjoying the comfort of a hospital bed somewhere. I shouldn't smile. I don't think there's anybody in there, so yeah, there's open. Good. You've got everything you need here. Cooking range, fridge down here, lots of storage space on this side, and is it? God, it's a proper coffee maker. Now that's luxury. And I noticed when I came in, there's quite a lot of other camper vans here at the Strathpuffer. So I think what I'll do is go and see if we can find some of the owners and find out what's so special about camper vans. Hello, how are you doing? Gosh, this is a big one.
You can see we've got gear everywhere because this is inevitable. And so what we've done, we've decided to make this area sort of for living. And then we've got sleeping. There's a bunk up there,
wow,
which is very comfortable and has a wee ladder up to it. And then in the aft end there's 2 more bunks. It's the way to go if you really want to be on the form at 4 in the morning.
Hi guys. Can I talk to you a wee bit about your camper?
It's that boy in there.
Is that boy in there? Yes. He's not sleeping, is he?
I don't know, I'm sitting here in my underwear though. Oh, I forgot. Aye, well, just at the back we've got a wee kind of stove there.
Oh, that's neat, isn't it? So you've got the kitchen at the back here. What's this up above here? Is this
Well, normally that's where you would sleep, but we've got all our gear kind of stowed up there, you know, so it's just like a tent up there, really.
So what is this, a 4-berth?
No, really, it's however many you can cram in, you know. Mind you, everybody goes past that one down there, there's a bit of camper envy going on, you know.
Oh, the big Winnebago.
That's the way to do it, I would say.
You know, there are camper vans, and there again, there are Winnebagos. This is more like a hotel suite than a camper van.
That's fantastic. It's just got leather upholstery everywhere. The side slides out to give us the extra berths.
Oh,
This side is slid out about 3 feet.
Good
and there's
grief.
two more berths at the back with a shower and toilet.
What's this thing in here?
That's fridge.
Oh, it's a proper size fridge.
We're thinking about getting a hot tub for next year.
There are all kinds of motor caravans and motor homes on the market today. But for outdoor people like me, for you know, people who go to the hills and whatnot, we're looking for something that's economical and not too big. And you know, as I get older, I'm actually looking for something that's got a fair bit more luxury than more home conversion. And I think this one here fits the bill. It certainly is luxurious. And for older people like me, it's got an electric step up. This camper is made of fiberglass. It's what they call a monocoque design, so it's all in one piece. And that makes all the lines inside really clean and quite efficient. Here we've got a little sink with hot and cold running water. And just next to it, your 2-hob gas cooker. And underneath, the grill for making your toast. What I really like about this, and I think this is the pièce de résistance of this particular little camper, is you've got a workbench here, but hiding underneath the workbench, ta-da, is the loo. You can pull the curtain, and there you are, on your throne, quite comfortable. And if that's not all, if you've just come off the hill and you're a bit sweaty, it's got a shower. So you can sit on the throne, give yourself a shower at the same time. Hey, not bad, eh? Moving up the camper, we've got the living space. Quite clever bed arrangements. You can have a big double bed or 2 single beds, or you can sit and have your dinner. And of course, the ultimate in luxury is lying in your sleeping bag on your bed, with a mug of tea, watching the telly. It's really decadent. I think what I really like about this camper is its compact size. It's like driving a car. It's ideal. And how much would this cost you? Well, the best part of 30 grand. Sounds like a lot of money, but you do get a lot for your money. In fact, I think I'll just ring my bank manager right now.
Welcome back to the Strathpuffer. The riders are 3 hours into the race. I was still in hospital, but Mark's been doing his bit for our adventure show team. He's just completed his first gruelling 7-mile lap.
Here you go, well done.
Cheers. How was that?
Mad. Really mad.
Good, fun.
It's good, really technical. You're coming down these ruts, you know, real-sized ruts, you know, in ice, and you've got to sort of hang on. Ooh. It's a lot of that. I can easily see how you go off. Yeah, just like that.
And is there much walking?
Yeah, through the snow. It's almost like walking through porridge.
And are people falling off all over the place in front of you? Or
people are blowing it, and but in the snow really, because you know how you lose your direction and your back wheel just spins and you just go over. There's a lot of people doing that.
Well, most people seem to be enjoying it, I think.
It is good. It is pretty. It's technical. You know, it's like a black type of thing.
Hey! Oh, you waiting for people to fall off?
It's a lot of snow up the top, a lot of walking, but good fun. Good fun, you know, that's why we do it.
Luck is the right laugh, like I predicted. I can need snowshoes, or a couple of huskies.
It's okay. Like there's sections which are just pure snow, which I find like really hard to kind of just keep my line on. I was skidding all over the place. Had a few falls, but no injuries. But actually, there's not much ice, and up the top there's quite a lot that's been dug out. So I was actually, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
It's about half deep snow. It's about a third mud, which is getting deeper. And the rest of the conditions are fantastic, I would say.
So there's about 17% of it that's nice.
Yeah, at the moment, but it's a long way to go, so you have to just keep your chin up and, you know, look forward to it. I'm hoping the snow clears a little bit, because it's a lot of pushing. But it could have been a lot worse, you know, it could have been sheet ice as it was 2 years ago, so actually, it's fine.
Just warming up, getting going. I'll give it a go later.
Well done, Angus, the best skid of the day. Well done. Excellent.
From the top of the viewpoint all the way to the finish, that was the funnest bit. But you had to walk most of the way, so it was quite annoying. And since there was like tons of slush everywhere, it was just a bit more walking than cycling, I think. It was really fun, but I'm gonna have to do it again, so I'm kind of regretting that, because it's just quite horrible in most places.
Angus is in a team of 4, aptly named Too Cool for School. They're the youngest competitors taking part this year.
How are you finding it?
Hard.
Is it hard through the scoopy mud?
Yeah, really nice.
Is this your first round though?
Yeah, this is my first one round.
Have you fallen off at all? You've been okay?
I've fallen quite a few times in the deep snow.
Soft landing, I hope.
Yeah.
Come on, Jamie!
Oh, you can't catch me not even riding my bike.
Yeah, we have. Go on.
Edit that bit out.
This is one of the major difficulties now. You've got a major riding line, which is soft and frozen ground, which is nice to ride on. But hitting that in the rut, if you come out of that rut, they're going to throw you off. So being very, very accurate with the steering when you're moving fast is going to be good, keeping a nice consistent line, keeping off the brakes. But if you're slow, these things, and a bit wary and you're a bit tense, they're horrible. Looks like you're riding in treacle.
Just about.
You just had enough?
Absolutely. Well, I've done 3 laps. You go home now. Push, 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 push.
Well done. Whoa. Whoa. Can I be a gentleman and help you out of that? It's eating you. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much.
I think these sorts of traps are the worst thing when you're riding at night, because you don't really see how deep that is. And the more front wheel goes in that, the more it digs out, and then you just flop and go over the handlebars. So these things at night are absolutely horrific. They're beginning to get very, very, very deep. And there's ice in the bottom of them as well, so it's going to make it very entertaining when it starts getting dark.
Oh, this is just excellent, isn't it?
Oh. And further up the course, if anything, it's even more treacherous.
That's a good place to get that.
Yeah.
Whoa! Well, we nicknamed that Sadist Corner because it's a great place to watch for people to fall off, but it's off camber and there's a sheet of ice under this and you can't really see it, so yeah, very sketchy indeed. It's something like this that Dougie fell off on, but even though there's been some crashes and we've seen a few here, nothing too serious. I think people are being reasonably canny. Oh, front wheel lock. Oh, it sounds like a flat tyre.
I know, no bad tyre.
And while Duncan's having fun on the course, there's been some good news for me. I'm out of hospital, but on strict instructions not to attempt any more of this race. Fantastic. And many thanks to the on-site medics, the ambulance service and the A&E staff at Raigmore. I know you'll understand when I say I hope not to see you again in the near future. So as far as our team goes, it's now all up to Mark. And he's just finishing his 2nd lap.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
I've been told by the doc not to come back out, so which I'm most upset about.
Well, you can cook.
Yeah, what would you like?
Well, I'm wondering whether to do, while I'm sort of warmish, to do one more. And then after that, come back.
How's the course looking? Is it?
It's much better.
Yeah.
But there's areas of black ice just when you come in near the end there, probably where you were. It's just rock hard ice, so you've actually got to stay on the outside.
Right.
To go on the inside, you whack.
Are you going back out then, or what are you doing? Or I'll make you a cup of tea.
I think I might go back out.
I'm loving your enthusiasm.
See ya.
Cheers. You can see how soaking wet and muddy he is. The course has clearly changed a lot from that first lap when it was lots and lots of soupy type snow. It got really, really manky. Everything's really been cut up, which is probably easier to ride. But good on her for getting back out. Soup and a cup of tea. It's now 9 hours into this 24-hour race. I'd lasted just 90 minutes. But for everyone else, there's still a long, long way to go.
So this is where the event really starts. 15 hours or more of night riding, depending on the conditions. The forecast is grim for tonight, although it's not raining yet. There's supposed to be sleet and snow. The shift from about 6 o'clock to almost 11 o'clock at night is actually fine to ride because it seems to be in your normal daytime. The trouble really starts at the 2 to 4 shift in the morning. That's when the race will be won or lost by the competing teams, and when it's really difficult and psychologically very demanding to get yourself out of your sleeping bag and to do one more round for your compatriots. Very hard indeed. The race starts now.
Like, you can't see, can't hurt you till it does hurt you, so you don't hold back as much sometimes. You give it socks and sure. You go out the back door, well, hope you don't.
My husband signed me up for it and said it'd be a good idea. It is good fun, and I'm sure we'll be happy we've done it at the end, but at the moment I'm very tired. To run.
Get a base, you know. Great fun though.
We're taking quite a relaxed approach. Well, it's our first year, but it's fun. I'm really enjoying the course. It's getting better, although the mud is getting a lot worse towards the bottom.
Whoa.
But the snow, the slushy snow's mostly gone.
Watch your rocks up here, Steve. It's super icy. I've got a big torch, so that it won't really be night time. The ground's getting worse as obviously more and more people ride over it, so it's just sticky, horrible, manky mud that's... it's really good. Come to Strathpuffer, it's amazing. That's icy. Really nice.
Whoa! Hello!
Whoa!
It's decision time for our adventure show team. Mark's completed 3 laps, but he didn't sign up to do this mammoth race all on his own.
The dynamic has just changed completely, and so suddenly it's like, right, okay, solo.
Yeah.
And it's like another mindset, and I don't know whether I've got that mindset.
Apparently, the adventure show team is last in the pairs. It's hardly surprising because you're down to 1.5 riders, or 1 rider.
I can't go on because I battered my napper, and suddenly you can't suddenly be from being in a pair to being solo.
No, it's hard. Maybe I might at one point have done it solo, but I don't think I would do it solo because for me it's a social thing.
It's non-stop in this kitchen, I tell you. It's like running a canteen.
So that's it. The adventure show team is out, and clearly Duncan wasn't jumping up to take my place. But there are still lots and lots of riders out there in the dark.
You just kind of go into a bit of a trance, at least I do anyway, this time of night. You just kind of just go with the moment. So I don't think about very much at all really, except the next bit of riding. And all I can think about is I can probably do 1 more lap, so I'll just keep doing 1 more lap. So, see how you get on. Yeah, I should be getting some therapy for it, shouldn't I?
I was waiting for the harvest moon. But no, I'm still going to have to be using torches. Keep thinking I'm near the end. But but then I spoke and it turns out I'm not.
Got clean trousers on, so it's going to be great this time. 12 hours in, new pants, that's all good, isn't it?
The second you sort of feel like you try to convince yourself you need to sleep, then that's game over. If you go to sleep, then you wouldn't get back up. It's kind of quiet out there at the moment. It's kind of, you can go 15-20 minutes and not see anyone. It's brilliant.
So, as hardy Strathpuffers pedal through the winter night, we're escaping into a different world. We're heading south to Perthshire, joining Cameron McNeish for a curious start to his monthly expedition into the hills.
Can I introduce you to some old friends of mine? This is Peter Rabbit, Flopsy Mopsy and Cottontail. And of course they're the heroes of the great Beatrix Potter children's books, Tales of Peter Rabbit. And while the Lake District in Cumbria would lay claim to ownership of Beatrix Potter, it was actually here in the village of Burnham, where the young Beatrix used to come for long summer holidays, that she first became interested in rabbits and the natural world. And indeed wrote her first picture letter, if you like, with the stories of Peter Rabbit. And not very far from here, along the River Tay at Dalguise, she became friends with the washerwoman, a Mrs. Kitty MacDonald, and she was later fictionalised as Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. I've come here this morning to climb a wee hill that's become a great favourite of mine over the years. Burnham Hill is only 1,300 feet in height, but it's a great walk nevertheless. And not only does it have associations with Beatrix Potter, but many of you will recognise it from Shakespeare's Macbeth. Look at that! You'd think somebody just unzipped the outer bark and it's all sort of flowing out. And when you see things like that, you realise how the young Beatrix Potter imagination was stimulated by sights like this one. For my sins, I have to travel between Badenoch in the Highlands and Glasgow 2 or 3 times a week, and quite often in the summer particularly I like to drive off the A9, park in Burnham and just climb Burnham Hill. It's a lovely leg stretch for the long balmy nights of summer, and even here in the middle of winter when the high tops like today are storm-bound, it's a great wee hill. There's great views both to the north and to the sort of flatter lands of the south. But there's something else too about this hill, and particularly these woods. There's a very real atmosphere of antiquity. And I sometimes wonder whether it's that same atmosphere that inspired William Shakespeare when he passed through here in 1601. Terrific view from here. The trees all along the east side of Burnham Hill are on the site of the ancient Burnham Woods, the subject of the witch's prophecy in Macbeth. Great Burnham Wood to high Dunsinane shall come against him. And down below me here, I reckon, was possibly the site of the last camp of Malcolm, son of Duncan, and Macduff, the Thane of Fife, before they set out to high Dunsinane and the historical defeat of Macbeth. And by my reckoning, Dunsinane Hill is away on the horizon over there in the Sidlaw Hills, just north of Dundee. You know, it's always good to get above the trees, to get this side of the forest, when you begin to get some of the views opening up, a bit of expansiveness. You can see right across the floodplain of the River Tay away across to the hills over yonder. It's just absolutely superb. You get this sort of spaciousness, even on a wee hill walk like this one, is absolutely terrific. Oh, it's hard work in the snow, but when you come up to this little final bit, it's up a wee gully that takes you onto Summit Plateau, there's something like 160 wooden steps to help you up there. I'm never very sure if wooden steps help you or deter you. Anyway, they're mostly covered in snow today, so it doesn't really matter. Well, this is the summit of Burnham Hill, marked on the map as King's Seat. And I'm not sure what king it's referring to, whether it's King Duncan, King Malcolm, or maybe Macbeth himself. And the remarkable thing is, you know, people drive right past this hill, and you know, Edinburgh is just over an hour away, Glasgow's just over an hour away, Dundee's less than an hour away, these great centres of population. And it's remarkable too in that it's right in the line of the geological fault line that runs across Scotland from the south end of Loch Lomond up to Stonehaven. And if you look right along this line, you can see the mosaic of fields and forests, and then the sudden swell of the Highlands as it becomes the Highland Hills. So it's a great wee walk, and it doesn't really matter if you're into Beatrix Potter or not, or William Shakespeare or not. Still a grand walk. And I have to confess, I prefer Rabbie Burns myself.
Staying in the Winter Hills, we're joining Ian Sherrington as we again learn from the experts at Scotland's National Outdoor Training Centre, Glenmore Lodge. Ian's heading into the Cairngorms with a group who are spending the week improving their ski mountaineering skills and learning how to safely travel in the mountains.
So when it's firm like this and the wind behind us and gentle slopes, we can get a bit of speed going.
There's something about going off-piste where you have to read the environment and people really express themselves a little bit. You know, there's that element of unknown. You're not quite sure what's going to be over the brow of the hill, so you get new views and the snow changes. But for most people, it really is that idea that you're going on a journey. You're going somewhere exciting. You don't know quite what's going to happen. Hopefully, you're going to come home safely. But during the whole of that time, you have fun as well. But at the same time, have a level of control that allows you to not be silly in the environment, because you still have to take it seriously.
So having come into the main Snecty Burn, we came off the track really and dropped down, so we're probably in about here somewhere.
Today's a glorious sunny day. Another great day in Scotland. Visibility is probably about 100 metres. Low cloud, as you can see.
One of the things that we haven't looked at would be a little bit of rope work. So the idea would be that if the guys were touring, they were on a journey, and they came across a small slope that was a bit icy or a bit too steep for them, but then they could see below that was okay, we're going to look at some techniques for maybe using a rope to go down and even just to go down and investigate that slope.
Yeah, it's only the surface that's frozen. It's interesting. It's got quite a crust, and then as you go through the crust, you can feel it getting soft again. You can look at all the technique you want for different types of things that you can put into the snow to make anchors. But if the snow is rubbish and soft, the anchor won't hold. So you drop that away, put your sling on, and then if you want to, you can even clamp it back down, because that would make it quite manageable and stop it falling out. And I guess what I'm trying to do is this face here, I'm trying to make reasonably vertical, so that again the skis are just not encouraged as they might be on a slope to slide out. There you go, we're kind of in there really, aren't we? So even though you might have your skis on and you might be side slipping over an edge to start with, you might have to be down on your side. You might even be on your hip. Remember how we were practicing sliding our hip the other day? You might even be like that, slithering over the edge on your skis just to keep your weight low on the anchor.
The instruction has to come to an abrupt end when the group hears that a climber has had an accident and fallen nearby. They may now be needed to help with a rescue that's just underway.
we should just listen in for a few minutes, guys, and find out what's happening. If somebody's seriously needing help, then we'll just have to go, I think. As you're aware, it's cold today. It's not particularly nice weather. There's a helicopter on its way, but we don't think it'll be able to get in. It may be able to get in if we get a gap in the weather. It makes a huge difference. If the helicopter comes in, it can sort the rescue out in minutes, or half an hour, shall we say, realistically. If not, the rescue could easily be 2 to 3 hours, in which case, if we're on site and can be helpful, then the quicker we get this thing moving, the better.
First task for the group is to find the emergency equipment that is permanently sited on the mountain.
We're probing for the rescue box. Someone's hurt their leg up there, and we're trying to find the rescue box that's covered under the snow here.
It's hard to tell if we're going to hit box or rock. Don't know what metal will sound like or feel like under the snow, really. How are we going forward? Okay, guys, out again. And forward 50. Ready, and probe. You got something there? Down. Okay. You got nothing there, Hannah?
Well, it's been quite exciting to actually come and being so close we could actually hear people shouting and just see what can happen. Even when we're going to be ski mountaineering, they've got an accident and there's all these people searching for a box. This has never happened before in Scotland. They can't find the first aid box, and we've got a casualty there, and we're all probing around. You think for a casualty, we're actually just looking for a box under the snow, which we yet haven't found.
Then help arrives, a skidoo with a stretcher.
The rescue box that's around here, we've been looking for with a GPS, but it's buried really deep in heavy snow. These guys have come in from the ski area, so they work with the ski patrol. And it's fantastic because they've arrived in with a skidoo, they've got a stretcher on the back. It's not a normal mountaineering stretcher, but we've got lots of ropes and expertise in the group. We'll be able to make something work. And once we can get the person onto that stretcher and down the skidoo, they're going to be out of here so much quicker than if we'd been carrying them out. It's a vast improvement as to how quickly we're going to get somebody out today.
With poor visibility and a huge cliff looming in front, it's touch and go whether the chopper can land.
So don't think it will, but if it decided to land at all, it's going to be over here. So we would need to go the other way and not leave any gear here. We don't want anything that could be sucked up into that chopper. So let's all move gear out that way a bit, guys. The icy out there, but you slowly make your way around that side of the locken. Grab any skis, we'll grab it all eventually. We're going to go that way, yeah? This guy could be here a long time, he's not going to turn the engine off today.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see. First time I've ever seen anything like that close up. Obviously we were with the experts there from Glenmore Lodge, and it was impressive seeing how they coordinated things, and yeah, seeing that helicopter coming in out of the mist was quite some piece of flying and quite spectacular.
And the good news is, everyone got off the mountain safely. Back at the Strathpuffer 24 and the long, cold, lonely night of biking.
It's the witching hour now, isn't it? Oh, it's all gone quiet. The lonely lap, hardly saw anybody last time. Starting to get a bit tired now. Get to the climbs and your legs don't really want to work anymore. But that's still good, and you come back to a fire and a cup of tea, so it's not all bad. You get more grumpy with yourself, don't you, when you're tired? You get more grumpy when you kind of hit a rock and it spills you off, or you can't quite make a climb that you like to. But then you kind of know that you've actually been going for 15 hours now, and it's fair enough. It's fair game, isn't it, to have a bit of tiredness at this time of night. The last lap I did, I hardly saw a soul, and it was amazing. You know, you're out there on your own, it's quiet, and then, you know, I got to the top bit and it opens out and you can see the village down below and the lights on, and I just stopped and turned my lights off for a second, just looked up and looked at the stars. You know, that's why you do it.
Fantastic. It's wonderful.
Over halfway there, got to be enjoying myself. Hey! Oh, top notch. How long to go?
I feel like I need my bed now, actually.
Back at base, there's more than a bed to look forward to. Top-class cuisine, courtesy of Grant MacNicol.
Still here, giving out casserole. Casserole. As promised, folks, here's some casserole for you. As promised.
Oh,
For you.
super, super.
There you go.
That is
Casserole.
delicious. That is great.
But there's no stopping the main action here tonight. The routine goes on, lap after lap after lap.
As you get out your bed, if you've been resting and you're up for a 3 o'clock in the morning lap, and eventually you get going, somebody hands you a cup of tea and you get out, the lights are on, and it's cold to start with, the legs aren't working, you're a bit stiff and a bit sore. You're almost with the lights, you're just riding within the zone of the light when you're on the technical and the harder stuff. So you are very much in your own little world. And then you just get the moments where you just lift your head, you're on an easier bit of track and you can lift your head and look around you. And you see the stars and you see the snow and you see the lights of Strathpuffer in the distance. And it's magical, it's magical. And then you come into some serious mud and hard work from there, where again you kind of just zone into where your lights are. And then just as you see the light coming up in the morning, you know you're coming towards the end of it.
Good morning. What a super morning to be out and about in.
I did it every other time. It's officially morning, so it's all downhill from here.
Very tired.
What's it like to sort of see the sun for the first time?
Very, very sort of awe-inspiring. I had to stand and just sunbathe for about 10 minutes.
It's amazing. It's like when it gets to this point you're tired, but because just the weather and the view and the sunrise, it's just like, oh, best time to be out. Had a good 4 hours kip, so no wonder I'm feeling quite fresh. Thank you.
Good luck. 23 and a half hours of racing gone, and these guys
heading back out
are still thrashing up the hill at an incredible rate. And we've got provisional positions here at the moment, and the top pairs have done an amazing 25 laps in 23 hours. It's extraordinary considering an average cyclist doing it in what? An hour and 45 minutes, and these guys are battering it in less than an hour. It's extraordinary.
Alex Slavin and David Powell are in the lead in the singles. Alex Slavin at this stage has done 22 laps, as has David Powell. 22 laps over 24 hours in these conditions. And I spoke to a guy earlier on down there who said that during the night, in fact his last lap just before it got light this morning, he actually fell off on this road climbing up. This is a sort of a road that was fine yesterday, but it's now sheet ice right around the whole course. It's just bonkers.
There's sort of international quality riders here. It's really extraordinary. I mean, we kind of bumble around going, it's a wee bit of a tough ride, but they're out there to win it.
And riding around the whole course, even though the conditions are challenging to say the least.
Time for a cup of tea.
I think so.
Another one.
Meanwhile, leading soloist Alex Slavin is just finishing another lap. Alex, how many is that then?
23 laps.
That is unbelievable. What's kept you going? Because conditions this year have been challenging to say the least.
It has indeed. It has been very difficult out there this year, but just my own motivation keeps you going. You know, if you come here to do a solo, you don't come here to not try your best. So that's what keeps me going.
And in previous years, you've been along here, and done pretty well as well. What is it that keeps you coming back?
I don't know. I always say I'm not coming back every year, but it's got to get under your skin. There's nothing else like it. In the middle of winter, it's just the daftest thing you could do on your bike. It's brilliant fun.
What would it mean for you to be the winner?
That'd be pretty cool. That's what I came here for. This is the Strathpuffer trophy. That's the one everybody wants. So that's That's what I'm looking for.
But nothing's certain till the final laps are counted, and David Powell's also got his sights on that soloist trophy.
What time is it now? You got to watch it.
Well, 2.5 minutes until 24 hours are up, and just to prove to you how much Alex Slavin wants to win this event, he just heard that David Powell could be coming back in and might go back out and do a 24th lap. He's thought, that's it, I'm going out to do this, I want to win this event, and he's just gone back out to do another lap. That's how much he wants to win it. But with the clock ticking, he'll be hard pushed to complete his final lap in time for it to be counted. And that's it, 24 hours are up, but those competitors who are still out in the course have an hour until 11 o'clock in the morning to finish the lap they're on, and that will count. After 11 o'clock, it won't count.
And there's still all to play for, both in the solos, the quads and the pairs. So a pretty amazing performance, and they're still out there competing.
Oh, great. No, I'm nearly finished.
I'm fine. Last bit.
Okay, I'm going to make my 9, which is a big surprise. So I'm very happy. Woo! Getting tricky.
On your left?
Yeah.
And now the race is finally over, and there's a mixture of relief and exhilaration.
Oh, that was great. Good times. Oh, Leighton, that was good stuff. Good to be home.
I'm totally knackered. I loved it. I'll tell you, Scotland is fantastic.
Yeehaw! It's category 2 fun.
Category 2 fun? What?
Yeah.
What's the scale got to?
Well, it only goes up to 2. Category 2 fun is when you say you've enjoyed it after the event.
In the contest of the solo riders, Alex Slavin finished his last round after the cut-off point, so it didn't count. He and David Powell both completed 23 laps, but Alex was faster overall, so David had to settle for second place.
It's the third time I've come second here. I was hoping to get first, but just couldn't quite catch Alex this time. He was a bit too fast again.
It was a real battle with you and Alex, wasn't it? I mean, at times we weren't sure he was going to actually win this, but he managed to get slightly ahead of you.
He did. He opened up a gap about sort of 7 or 8 hours in of about 40 minutes, and I just couldn't bring it back after that. He was able to build up the pace down to less than an hour a lap, and I just couldn't match it.
And despite this year's conditions, the fastest team of 4 managed a staggering 32 laps. Not bad for their first time in this event.
Well, we all train really hard, and we've all done like about 14, 25 races each. We're quite experienced.
So what about the speed on the downhill through the ice? I mean, to get the sort of sub-hour times, you're having to ignore all that danger and just go for it.
Yeah, it was quite interesting because the conditions were changing quite a lot. But when there was ice, it made a massive difference having the spiked tyres. I was just out on normal ones on that lap and just went down on the forest road just because of the ice. So with the spikes, it makes a huge difference. Just rail everything. It's great.
So confirmation of those final results for the soloists. David Powell and Alex Slavin both completed 23 laps, but Alex's faster time of 23 hours 48 minutes secured him the win. For the teams of 4, Nevis Cycles Woo-Ha completed that amazing 32 laps in 24 hours 40 minutes. While coming in first for the pairs were Keith Forsyth and Stephen Diaz with 25 laps in 23 hours 16 minutes.
It was hard, but it was good fun. It was a tough course this year. It was a lot tougher than last year, and we won the pairs last year as well, but we did 28 laps last year, and it was a different course this year.
So the big difference is just the sort of ice and the general snow. And
yeah, well, if it wasn't icy, it was like deep slushy snow, or it was like deep gloopy mud. So yeah, there was no respite at all the way down the track.
So you're going to be back next year?
Ice Cycles will be back again next year. Yes, we're going to go for 3 in a row.
And that's it for this month's adventure show. Next time we're heading south to the outskirts of Edinburgh, where Desiree will be testing her orienteering skills. But we're not making it easy for her. This event takes place at night.